Professional ethics, first schedule, professional misconduct in relation to chartered accountant and practice is part 1. Part 1, clause 1 allows any person to practice in his name as a chartered accountant unless such person is also a chartered accountant in practice and is in partnership with or employed by him. Clause 2, pays or allows or agrees to pay or allow directly or indirectly any share, commission or brokerage in the fees or profits of his professional business to any person other than a member of the institute or a partner or a retired partner or a legal representative of a deceased partner or a member of any other professional body or with such other person having such qualifications as may be prescribed for the purpose of rendering such professional services from time to time in or outside India. Clause 3, accepts or agrees to accept any part of the profits of the professional work of a person who is not a member of the institute, provided that nothing herein contained shall be construed as prohibiting a member from entering into profit sharing or other similar arrangements, including receiving any share, commission or brokerage in the fees with a member of such professional body or other person having qualifications as is referred to in item 2 of this part. Clause 4, enters into partnership in or outside India with any person other than a chartered accountant in practice or such other person who is a member of any other professional body having such qualification as may be prescribed, including a resident who, but for his residence abroad, would be entitled to be registered as a member under clause 5 of subsection 1 of section 4 or whose qualifications are recognized by the central government or the council for the purpose of permitting such partnerships. Clause 5 secures either through the service of a person who is not an employee of such chartered accountant or who is not his partner by by means which are not open to a chartered accountant any professional business, provided that nothing herein shall contain shall be construed as prohibiting any agreement permitted in terms of item 2, 3 and 4 of this part. Clause 6 solicits clients or professional work either directly or indirectly by circular, advertisement, personal communication or interview or by any other means, provided that nothing herein contained shall be construed as preventing or prohibiting any chartered accountant from employing or requesting for or inviting or securing professional work from another chartered accountant in practice or a member from responding to tenders or inquiries issued by various users of professional services or organizations from time to time and securing professional work as a consequence. Next, clause 7 acquires advertises his professional attainments or services or uses any designation or expression other than the chartered accountant on professional documents, visiting cards, letterheads or signboards unless it be a degree of a university established by law in India or recognized by the central government or a title indicating membership of the Institute of Chartered Accountants or of any other institution that has been recognized by the central government or may be recognized by the council, provided that a member may in practice may advertise through a write-up setting out the services provided by him or his firm or under the particulars of his firm subject to such guidelines as may be issued by the council. Clause 8 accepts a position as auditor previously held by another chartered accountant or a certified auditor who has been issued certificate under the restricted certification rules 1932 without first communicating with him in writing. Clause 9, if he accepts an appointment as auditor of a company without first ascertaining from it whether the requirements of section 139 and section 140 of the Companies Act 2013 in respect of such appointment have been duly complied with. Clause 10 charges or offers to charge, accepts or offers to accept in respect of any professional employment fees which are based on a percentage of profits or which are contingent upon findings or results of such employment except as permitted under any regulation made under this Act. Clause 11 engages in any business or occupation other than the profession of a chartered accountant unless permitted by the council so to engage, provided that nothing herein contained shall disentitle a chartered accountant from being a director of a company, not being a managing director or a whole-time director, unless he or any of his partners is interested in such company as an auditor. Clause 12 allows a person not being a member of the institute in practice or a member not being his partner to sign on his behalf or on behalf of his firm any balance sheet, profit and loss account, reports or financial statements. This is part 1 first schedule, total 12 clauses. Next is part 2, professional misconduct in relation to members of the institute in service, total uh, through 2 clauses. First clause, pays or allows or agrees to pay directly or indirectly to any person any share in the emoluments of the employment undertaken by him. Clause 2, accepts or agrees to accept any part of fees, profits or gains from a lawyer, a chartered accountant or a broker engaged by such company, firm or persons or agent or customer of such company, firm or persons by way of commission or gratification. Next is part 3, which contains 3 clauses. Part 3, professional misconduct in relation to members of the institute generally. Clause 1, not being a fellow of the institute acts as a fellow of the institute. Clause 2, does not supply the information called for or does not comply with the requirements asked for by the institute, council or any of its committees, director discipline, board of discipline, disciplinary committee, quality review board or the appellate authority. And third clause, while inviting professional work from another chartered accountant or while responding to tenders or inquiries or while advertising through a write-up or anything as provided for in item 6 and 7 of this part 1 of the schedule, gives information knowing it to be false. Next is part 4 of our schedule. There are 2 clauses. Part 4, other misconduct in relation to members of the institute generally. Here it is other misconduct. Clause 1, is held guilty by any civil or criminal court for an offence which is punishable with imprisonment for a term not exceeding 6 months. Clause 2, in the opinion of the council, brings disrepute to the profession or the institute as a result of his action, whether or not related to his professional work. Total first schedule 4 parts. Part 1 12 clauses, part 2 2 clauses, part 3 3 clauses and part 4 2 clauses. Next is second schedule. The second schedule also have 3 parts. First part is part 1, professional misconduct in relation to chartered accountants in practice. Part 2, professional misconduct in relation to chartered accountants in service. Part 3, other misconduct in relation to members of the institute generally. Here part 1 contains 10 clauses, part 2 contains 4 clauses and part 3 contains only 1 clause. Part 1, professional misconduct in relation to chartered accountant in practice. Clause 1, discloses information acquired in the course of his professional engagement to any person other than his client, so engaging him without the consent of his client or otherwise than as required by any law for the time being in force. Clause 2, certifies or submits in his name or in the name of his firm a report of examination of financial statements unless the examination of such statements and the related records have been made by him or a partner or an employee in his firm or by another chartered accountant in practice. Clause 3, permits his name or the name of his firm to be used in connection with an estimate of earnings contingent upon future transactions in manner which may lead to a belief that he vouches for the accuracy of the forecast. Clause 4, expresses his opinion on financial statements of any business or enterprise in which he, his firm or a partner in his firm has a substantial interest. Clause 5, fails to disclose a material fact known to him which is not disclosed in a financial statement but disclosure of which is necessary in making such a financial statement where he is concerned with the financial statement in a professional capacity. Clause 6, fails to report a material misstatement known to him to appear in the financial statement with which he is concerned in a professional capacity. Clause 7, does not exercise due diligence or is grossly negligent in the conduct of his professional duties. Clause 8, fails to obtain sufficient information which is necessary for an expression of an opinion or its exceptions are sufficiently material to negate the expression of an opinion. Next is clause 9, fails to invite attention to any Clause 9, fails to invite attention to any material departure from the generally accepted procedure of audit applicable to the circumstances. Next is clause 10, fails to keep money of his client other than the fees or remuneration or money meant to be expended in a separate banking account, or to use such monies for the purpose for which they are intended within a reasonable time. Next is part 2. Part 2 have 4 clauses. Professional misconduct in relation to members of the institute generally. Clause 1 contravenes any of the provisions of this act or the regulation made thereunder or any guidelines issued by the council. Clause 2, being an employee of any company, firm or persons, discloses confidential information acquired in the course of his professional employment except as and when required by any law for the time being in force or except as permitted by the employer. Clause 3 includes in any information statement written or form to be submitted to the institute council or any of its members council or any of its committees, director discipline, board of discipline, disciplinary committee, quality review board or the appellate authority any particulars knowing them to be false. Clause 4 defalcates or embezzles money received in his professional capacity. Part 3 other misconduct in relation to members of the institute generally. A member of the institute, whether in practice or not, shall be deemed to be guilty of other misconduct if he is held guilty by any civil or criminal court for an offence which is punishable with an imprisonment for a time exceeding 6 months.